Hi, everyone, and welcome to the London Community Week podcast, the official podcast of London Community Week, a global event all about building meaningful, long-term communities. I'm your host, Kate Bova. Whether you work at a startup, a nonprofit, or a global SaaS brand, if you believe that community is more than a buzzword and plays a real role in growth and connection, this podcast is for you. This episode is brought to you with the support of our incredible partners led by Community, Gainsight, Circle, Heyorka, Canva, Bevy, Discourse, Mansion. Together, they helping the community industry thrive by providing the tools to grow, engage, and make a real difference at scale. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome Isabel Ruiz to this podcast. Isabel is a customer advocacy and community building expert with nearly a decade of experience in SaaS, B2B, and professional services. Known for her people first approach, Isabel has built and executed strategies that spark real engagement, create inclusive spaces, and deliver, of course, business impact. A former podcast host herself, Isabel is no stranger to this format, and she's shared her insights at events like the Customer Success Festival and the Future of SaaS. This July, she'll take the stage at London Community Week, further cementing her role as a leading voice in the industry. Whether she's leading a global events, running cross-functional campaigns, or designing community programs, Isabel blends creativity with the data to drive results and bring people together in powerful ways. Isabel, welcome. It's a big pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much, Kate, for the introduction. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. And of course, I'll be very happy to be on the stage in July for sure.
Awesome. So let's start with your current role. What are you focused on right now, and what types of communities or types of customer programs are you leading?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you mentioned earlier, yeah, my name is Isabel Ruiz. I'm the community and event manager at Autodesk. I actually joined the team quite recently. So I'm part of the global developer advocacy team. And I'm very fortunate to help grow and engage their already vibrant community of developers and thought leadership by running events and creating spaces for connection and knowledge sharing. And actually, before that, I worked in customer success and community at companies like Pluralsight and Muse. I know you actually interviewed my former colleague, Sarah. And
Yeah.
so I have always been passionate about building relationships and driving engagement.
Okay, but what originally drew you into the world of community and the world of customer advocacy? Was it a planned career move, or it's something that you didn't plan and you didn't expect it?
Yeah, I will say that actually the common threads throughout my career has actually been advocacy. So obviously, in my first roles at tech companies were in customer success, account management. But I think with that background, I think it was just meant to be. I felt like I was always perhaps the environment where I was thriving the most was where I was building these connections, and not only with my external stakeholders, but also internally. And I think definitely customer success and definitely community management has the fortune of collaborate with many different departments. And I think as it might sound very cheesy and cliche, but you cannot build community on your own. Like it takes a village, as they say. So I think for me as well, I felt like I was already doing a lot of advocacy and engagement work, and it just felt like the logical step. And I think for me, I always try to embrace a growth mindset. So it was just a perfect opportunity for me to move into the space of community. And maybe I didn't have the title, but definitely I was doing the work before that.
Yeah, loved it. Loved it. It's a nice journey, actually. And you're working a lot with people. And I know how hard sometimes is manage customer success experience because
Mhm.
there are a lot of things on your plate when you're doing that. What actually keeps you going in this field? What's the motivation or your mission behind your work today?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's primarily help people find or learn from each other. I think I might be saying the word belonging too often here, but I do like to help people find that and to learn from each other. And I think even just that
Mhm.
networking events, for example, or I really like meetups here in Dublin, which I go to quite a few of them here. I feel like, especially now in remote and hybrid environments, particularly since I was building community for employees before as well, I think now a community is not, it's not just a nice to have, but it is an essential for
Yeah.
engagement and culture as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great reminder of why we do that we do
Yeah,
actually. And
exactly.
yeah, you will be speaking at London Community Week very soon. And can you give us a preview of your talk and why do you think this topic matters right now?
Yeah, totally. And yeah, I just looked at the date there. So yeah, it's coming quite soon, this festival.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll be speaking about remote employee engagement and how to build a thriving virtual community, which I think right now, I mean, you will have the camps of people that, oh, I'm staying fully remote. Other wants to be a hybrid. Other wants to, I mean, maybe not the majority, but a few people would like to go back to an office space. But yeah, with
Hmm.
with so many teams now fully remote or hybrids, it's more important now than ever to create intentional spaces, which I think, especially, let's say, 5 years ago, when we all know what happened, that everyone had to be staring at a screen. But now it's now we have to be intentional about what we're doing, what's the purpose of that. Even
Hmm.
your regular average meetings, like you, at least I was always very mindful of, okay, if I'm going to invite Kate to a meeting, this is my agenda, this is why we are actually meeting, instead of, as they say, this could have been an email instead of a meeting. So during my talk, I'll be sharing lessons from my work, and for what I experienced as well, even not only with my customers, but also with colleagues at different companies that I have worked for, and
Yeah.
how as well I want to include, hopefully, some practical ways to foster culture across different time zones as well. We work with colleagues everywhere now. So, and how to spark these meaningful interactions as well. And I think something that I will say as well is to how to empower, like if you're building this internally, how you can actually empower the people that have already an interest in that, your champions, as we tend to call them in community management. So, and how to keep that culture alive.
Yeah, I think that sounds incredibly timely because I remember when the COVID started so many years ago, I think, but still a lot of companies sometimes or very often don't know how to engage their employees, how to build this culture because somebody is working in the office, or if it's international company and we have a lot of different offices all around the world and a lot of different departments and a lot of different processes. So I think it's super good topic for the conference. And you mentioned about lessons that you wanted to share more about your lessons of your colleague. Maybe also now you can share some takeaways, some key lessons that you want to share with the audience during the conference.
Yeah, absolutely. I think something that I would like to share would be that you have to be, and again, I might repeat this word a few times today, intentional in how
Okay.
also you can empower the people that have different interests. Like I have seen, and maybe just as a quick example, I have seen people that there is a charity here in Dublin where their employees are remote around Ireland. And actually, a friend of mine was organizing a charity run. So, I mean,
Mhm.
it will still bring you at some point on I think it was on a Sunday morning to do a 5K run and raise money. But all the organizing was done remotely because the employees are not based here, only in Dublin. But I think it's finding causes, finding a purpose, finding something that people care about, especially now at Autodesk as well. There are many different employee belonging groups. Actually, they don't call them employee resource groups. So they are like obviously for Pride Month now in June. And I think it's just, again, it doesn't have to stay only in a Slack thread or in a Teams thread. It has to be a little bit beyond that. And I think also something that I recently told my team actually last week was that maybe we need to do things that don't scale. And that means maybe just talk to one person each day. I mean, I'm not sending a mass email to
Yes.
all of the employees. No, I need to talk to Kate. I need to talk to this person one-to-one, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. And this is the purpose as well for that meeting. But I think it's just two things that don't scale. Maybe that's also, I need to include that as well, now that I just thought of it. So
Yeah. It's so valuable. Thank you very much. And continue this topic about employee or about customer experience as you wish. Could you remember some big moments that you are proud of? Maybe it was a big case in your community journey, or it's something happened not so many times ago. Something that you are really proud of in your sphere, in your topic.
yeah, absolutely. I will say that every time that I spoke to, particularly women in leadership, and the fact that I was always like, one of my roles was like finding speaking engagement for everyone, not just for leadership, but for everyone. And to me, when I would hear that, when I will get the question back as what would I share? I don't know what I will be speaking of. I'm like, you have all of these amazing experience, years of experience, different industries, different companies. You have a lot to say. And I think it's always, at least for me anyway, it was always so rewarding to see. I might not say that, oh, they went right away on stage and they went to do a podcast, or they went to, no, but they had that seed in their mind that, oh, I actually have something to share. I have something valuable. So to me, that was already a big win, because I wanted to be the reminder of, you have a lot to say. So I think for me, I always enjoyed those conversations where I will highlight. I still do. I always want to highlight the work that other people do, and actually make them think that, yeah, everyone has a story to tell.
Yes, yes. I feel your pain when you are sharing that you need to remind people that they have superpower to share some knowledge.
Exactly.
Because, yeah, I remember as working in IT, and I remember how many conversation I had with employees to do the same thing, just because there were a lot of developers, marketers, designers, and so on. And we also was like developing different communities inside the company. And it was so important role, and I appreciate that you are doing that, because I remember you are like a coach, and you're trying to find the way, because a lot of people, they're so different, of course, and you need to find the way, what to better to say, what strong sides they have, how to help them to create presentation, or to develop their negotiation skills, or so a lot of different things. And this is a big job, Isabel. And it's important job. Thank you for sharing and for your honestly. And what about failures? Did you have some big failures as well in these files working with employees?
Yeah, and I think also across, like, even customer success or community management or events as well. Like, I will say, well, I think maybe the example that comes to mind is particularly within community management. I think purpose has to be at the forefront. And I think initially, I don't know, a lot of, especially if, let's say, you're the only person driving community, you will have many different stakeholders. Okay, this is a project. I want a community. That's the idea. But I think if value, mission, purpose, if those are not considered, and I think in the beginning, maybe I was being driven by, or I was given the project, and maybe I wasn't leading with the purpose of the community? What are we trying to achieve? What's the value for the members? And it was more just like a box to tick in terms of, I have a community and that's it. So I think for me, it was finding that initially that value and what are we delivering for members. That is just, I will never forget that. That has to be the main thing, the first thing to do, definitely.
Yeah, love your advice to start always with a purpose, with a goal, and then to continue all of activities and so on. And actually, yeah, working with employees, it's a so big topic. And I know that we don't have a lot of time because I wanted to ask you a lot of questions, but something that I also wanted to ask in this sphere about success. When you're working with employees, you're working a lot with internal goals and goals of the company, goals of different departments. So how you as a community manager, how you measure that you success the goal and how you measure that community has a real impact on business?
Yeah, I think when it comes to employees, definitely one of the metrics to look at. And I remember working quite closely with HR or the people team or talent acquisition. It would be retention. And I think for me it was quite, and again, as I mentioned initially, like I was very fortunate to work with different teams to achieve these goals. So yeah, I will say one of them will have been retention. And how can you nurture the community you have? And also it's about, for your company, for your organization, attracting people as well. Like they want to see, like, well, Kate is doing great things. She's actually writing a blog post about her becoming an intern and then getting all the way to team lead, etc. So these people's stories as well. But yeah, I will say acquisition, talent acquisition and retention in this case.
Yeah, great. Thank you for your brilliant thoughts. So guys, just buy tickets to London to hear amazing speech of Isabel and to deep dive more in this topic. And I wanted to ask you about trends in community management sphere, in advocacy or customer success. Maybe you see some specific trends now, or you're trying to follow some trends in your job.
Yeah, I actually see, and maybe this is more like I combine sometimes as well, like what I do after work. Like I see a lot of events happening, not so much in Dublin, but definitely the likes of Amsterdam, London. I think I have seen this offline. They call it like offline events where, I mean, this is not groundbreaking, but at the same time, I see it as a trend where you will go to a cafe, and I don't know how they do it, the organizers. I need to try this myself. But people go and you cannot use your phone. You will just like grab your book and just sit there, and that's it. I mean, I think it's just, being conscious about, or self-awareness of, oh, I don't want to be looking at a screen. I can actually chat to the person next to me at a cafe or read my book. And I don't know, I think it's just even the thought of recreating, because this is not something new, but it's recreating or reminding people that, okay, you go to this specific place at a specific time. There won't be any devices, and you can just sit there, enjoy your coffee, enjoy your book, enjoy a chat with someone next to you that you don't know. It's like, I mean, but this was before smartphones, maybe, but I mean, this is now. I think it's going back to basics. Maybe that's the trend. But yeah, again, this is something that I definitely want to experience for myself as well.
What about some methods or tools or some practices that you also use day to day in your working routine?
Yeah, actually, and I mean, I definitely like to geek out about community. So obviously, I'm going to be very happy next month when I meet all of you again. So I think because of the background, I cannot show the book, but actually, I'm rereading again Carrie Melissa Jones' book,
Oh yes,
Building Brand
amazing book.
Communities. I mean, this is
Amazing
like,
book.
if you want to call it the Bible, call it the Bible. To me, that's just
Mm-hmm.
such an essential tool for me. And actually, a practice, I will say that something that I do time and time again, just talk to your community, talk to your champions,
Mm-hmm.
talk to the people that have, I mean, thankfully, if you're coming into an existing community, I mean, talk to the champions, talk to the people that are already engaged, and even talk to the detractors. I think that can be also controversial, but I think it's essential as well, just to
Sure.
what do we need to improve. There's something that needs iteration. And yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think just talk to as many people as possible as a community manager, and go to them for advice. And if I were to actually throw in two tools, I think project management tools like Asana, definitely I just need to
Mm-hmm.
have something to organize myself and my thoughts. And I recently I have Otter.ai. I mean, I know there's a lot of tools that can just transcribe, but I really like Otter, and I have it on my phone. I actually, when I joined the team at DevCon, a really big conference in Amsterdam with Autodesk, I was just
Mm-hmm.
talking to community members. I just pull out my phone, I ask, and I record this, and it was just, the transcribe has like AI assistant that can throw questions afterwards to insights, create a list of insights and things like that. So I just love it. I mean, I'm sure there are other tools. So far, Otter.ai, it's my favorite one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for sharing for this advice. Actually, what better to use, what is working for you, and to continue your advices. I just want to ask to give some advices to guys that just start in their journey in community management, because we will have a lot of them during the conference, and I think we have some of them here watching this podcast. So what would you recommend for community managers that just starting their journey in our field?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, welcome to this wonderful world of community, for sure. And I would say, if possible, quite in early days in your journey, think of the value that you're bringing to your future members. I mean, we always wonder as well when we go to an event or when we get asked to speak somewhere. It's also, I think the acronym is what's in it for me. So you have to think, us as community managers, we have to think what's in it for the member, what's in it for
Yeah.
the person that are attending our events. Where are they going to go back and talk about to someone else about our events, about the particular event or that particular community? So I think you have to be driven by a purpose and a mission for that community.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can start thinking of that, I think that's already, you're setting yourself up for success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. Purpose and mission. I think this is a red line of our whole podcast. Remember the goal, remember the purpose, and
Mhm,
you added about mission.
mhm,
It's so valuable and so important. Yeah, Isabel, thank you for sharing.
mhm,
And I think I have last one question for you. Um, Dreaming a bit about the future. If to talk about the vision and future of community building, how could you describe it in 3 words?
I would describe it as intentional, inclusive, and interconnected.
Mm. Why you chose these 3 words?
I chose them because I think, in theory, hopefully in everything we do, I feel like we need to have that interconnection with um, people, with what they do, with what they are interested in. And I think, even as, if I think of myself as a connector, or if I want to introduce this person to this other person because they have a particular need, or they are looking for something or knowledge to share. And I think inclusive, well, I think it's even myself having, and maybe a very personal basis, like having built my own home and my own chosen family here in Dublin, definitely that's what I will be looking for in any type of community or group. And I think intentional, as I mentioned before, I think for the work that we do, because we deal with people, maybe at some point we'll deal with AI, but for now we are managing a community of people. I think we need to have this, why would I reach out to this person, or what value can I bring to this person when I'm connecting with them in conversation or networking or at work as well. So that's why.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much, Isabel. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your passion, for your thoughts. I know that I see you in London, and guys, welcome also to the conference. See Isabel, hear her amazing topic and so valuable topic. And see you. And thank you. Thank you so much for this episode and for your time.
Yeah, thank you for your time. And thanks everyone for listening. And I'll see you in July.
Yeah. Bye-bye.